Hello legends, it's Guan here. Good to see all of you here today. Thanks for tuning in for today's video. Now, China Communist Party, also known as CCP, they have been cracking down on many companies, most notably the tech companies such as the likes of Didi, such as the likes of Tencent, Alibaba and more.
Should have gone for the head.
This has created a lot of fear amongst investors, which resulted in the share price bloodbath. With all these negative headlines and sentiments, is Alibaba still a good investment? Now, I personally think it still is. So, stay tuned to find out more. So, in this video, I'll be covering three major aspects. Number one, what does the company do? Number two, looking beyond the headlines. Number three, valuations and my final thoughts. Make sure you stay tuned until the end for my valuation framework and my final thoughts. So, what does the company do? Alibaba, the Chinese big tech, founded by the flamboyant and charismatic Jack Ma. It's practically the poster child for Chinese tech company. Alibaba also resembles the successful transformation of the communist market China to the free market China with Chinese characteristics that we all know today. Now, Alibaba's core business is their e-commerce platforms, namely Taobao, Tmall, Lazada, AliExpress and more. Alibaba is also heavily involved in the Chinese food delivery market via their Ele.me subsidiary. They also involved in the cloud computing market via the Alimama subsidiary, and as well as the logistics alliance network via the Cainiao subsidiary. And they also get involved in the fintech services via the Ant Financial Group, which they just spun off recently. Now, Alibaba currently has the lion's share of the e-commerce, cloud computing, and fintech markets in China. Their Cainiao Logistics Alliance is also head-to-head with the likes of JD Logistics. Looking beyond the CCP headlines, let's take the recent private education company's debacle as an example. Now, let's step back and think about it. As you may know, China's demographic is aging rapidly. They are desperately looking to increase the national birth rate. But the Chinese parents have been having a hard time to have more kids, as this is all due to the intense after-school education programs. And let's not forget that over 40% of private education companies currently operate in East China, which is the richer part of China. This further exacerbates the inequality problem, as only the rich ones can afford to pay higher prices. And this also means that the private education companies can simply jack up the prices like nobody's business. And the kids over there can start the day from 7 AM to 9 PM every day easily. With this context, more and more parents see the need to be more competitive, and this gives more power and control to the private education companies. That being said, CCP sees these private education companies as the number one obstacle in their eyes. So, CCP literally blitzkrieg them in a nutshell. Now, do you agree with these findings? Comment your thoughts down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell. Let us now take a look at another crackdown on the Ant Financial Group, which had derailed their IPO plan. Now, prior to the crackdown, Ant Financial Group only needs to put up 1% of the total loan value for a loan package of say 100,000 renminbi. And Ant Financial Group asked the co-lenders to fund the rest of the loan package. This is basically Ant Financial Group saying that, hey bros, I'll make the money and you take the risk, okay? What the hell, bro? Now, talking about past the boat in the fintech sector, had China not cracked down on this will potentially and very likely morph into what we saw in the 2008 US subprime mortgage crisis. Now, the CCP only wants stability, and this definitely does not smell right for them. So, now you can see all these crackdowns are not a blatant beatdown from a CCP. Don't take it from me, take a look at the latest remark from Monish Pabrai about China's governance. Here's a short clip.
Alberto, if I may, I would like to read one question from the audience. This is Jose. Jose remarks that Mr. Pabrai recently bought Alibaba, which makes him, Jose, think that that's because it's at a good price. The question is, Mr. Pabrai, are you not afraid of China?
Yeah, I mean, like, so China's a good example of what we just spoke about is that I think it would be too wide a brush to take a complex country like China and, put it into three sentences, if you will.
So, you can now see that it seems more like a fear-mongering sensation, just like what Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger often emphasize. Be a contrarian thinker for yourself. Now, valuation and my final thoughts. Alibaba is a huge conglomerate. I'll use the sum of the parts to value it. So, number 1, Alibaba cloud business. With the recent Q1 2021 revenue is around $2.6 billion, multiply that by 4 and you have the annual run rate of $10.4 billion of revenue, giving it a modest 10x sales multiple. It's therefore valued at $104 billion. B. Alibaba Ele.me food delivery business. Let's just say that it's inferior and it should be valued at half of Meituan's market cap. Therefore, Ele.me is currently valued at $115 billion. C. Alibaba China Logistics Alliance business. Let's just say that it should be valued at half of JD Logistics market cap. Therefore, China is to be valued at around $28 billion. Now, D. Alibaba's Ant Financial Group. It's expected to be valued at $150 billion at the new IPO round after the first crackdown. Alibaba has about 30% ownership, so it should be valued at about $45 billion. E. Alibaba's e-commerce has a trailing 12-month profit of $29 billion. Given that it's expected to grow at 25 to 30%, I'm giving it a PE multiple of 25. Therefore, it's valued at $725 billion. Summing up all the valuations, the total valuation is around $1 trillion. The current Alibaba market cap is around $550 billion. For a big business like this that still has a significant runway in the future, I would say this is undervalued for my case. I also don't see any reasons why Chinese consumers would stop using the services. Now, do you agree with these findings? Comment your thoughts down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I will see you in the next one.